Hello, this is Carla DeRosa with Rocket TV with another episode of Real Awesome Wellness.
That you asked me that question, and because something had happened this past couple of days, and it brought me back to my growing up life in Panama, the Republic of Panama.
You grew up in Panama.
And water in Panama is gold because of the Panama Canal.
Okay.
So the canal is dependent on water and rainfall.
Okay.
And so that kind of gave me a little perspective halfway back in my childhood of my connection with water.
Okay.
Yeah. I was born in Miami, raised in New Orleans. At 18 years old, I ended up in Panama. I said, this is great. It's summertime year round. We have fresh water. We have salt water. My life is there. So 27 years in my adult lifehood, I spent in Panama.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So the
And
wheel
I hear the New Orleans, too.
Yeah. So the wheel keeps coming around, and now I'm back into water again in a different perspective.
Okay.
But it's all health related. Health. Yeah.
And people often ask me about alkaline water, and now this new concept of, for me, new ionized water. Right. So what do you think about it? What do you think about water and the technology? And I know you do a lot of research, so.
Right. Well, let me start here. A year ago, I came here. I came to the Living Foods Institute, and I was a water drinker. I brought my own bottle of water.
Okay.
I learned early on that if I don't drink water, especially in the summertime when I'm very active, that I get just these tremendous cramps in my legs at night.
Okay.
Like 3 o'clock in the morning, out of a dead sleep, I'm out of bed in 2 seconds.
Wow.
And it takes me 30, 40 minutes to work out the cramps, kind of thing. So I started researching, some type of treatment, and then to keep the cramp from coming. So I said, I got to find out, what I need to do.
Yeah, what I hear is minerals. It's a lack of minerals. Is that what you found?
Well, I found all kinds of different things, and people had different solutions to it. But there wasn't a consistency. There wasn't, a larger group, most people doing this kind of thing.
Right.
What I found is that you're taking different stuff, but you're taking it all with water. I said, what if I just drink water? And sure enough, I learned that if I, hydrated myself during the day as you're working, kind of force yourself to do it.
Right.
You get in the habit of carrying a bottle with you. So I show up here at the Living Foods Institute with my 90-year-old dad. Okay, he brought me here. I didn't want to come. He brought me here with my water bottle. Okay. When I came in, they said, oh, but no, drink our water. I said, okay, fine. No problem. Let me see.
What kind of water were you putting in your water bottles?
Oh, it was just regular water.
Okay, tap water.
Yeah. Well, it was filtered water. My dad had a filter machine.
Okay.
So, can I put that on tape?
It's on.
Oh, is it on? Oh, okay. So, I just started drinking regular tap water.
Okay.
Through a filter system. And I didn't know about the water and what's in the water and stuff like that. And when I found out what I know now, I just learned, it scares me.
I know.
So much that we don't know kind of stuff.
I know. I've heard that water has birth control pills. So, of course, that's going to be
pharmaceuticals.
Yeah, a hormone interrupter for men and women. I heard that it has arsenic, cyanide, fluoride, chlorine.
There's arsenic that's natural and is man-made. Baking soda. We talk about baking soda making water alkaline.
Right.
That's the easy thing to do. You just put some baking soda in and it becomes alkaline.
Right.
Right. Okay. So I searched, what is baking soda?
What is it?
We've been using it forever.
Yes.
It's not natural. It's made in the chemistry lab.
Yeah.
It's made in the chemistry lab to emulate a natural substance that they used to use, but it's in such small quantity. Okay.
Yeah.
So we industrialize it, and that's where we get in problems.
Yes.
Yeah. And it's like vitamins. Okay.
All right.
So I was shocked when I found out what's really in our water and the regulations. When I got into the water thing, one of the things that I picked up was that the FDA does not regulate bottled water. And I said, well, that sounds possible,
Yeah.
But I found out recently that that's not true. There is a regulation.
Okay.
What the FDA does is require the standards of the EPA, the producers of water. Okay, one of the primary things that the producer of the water, or the producer of the water bottle. Okay. When they're filling it up, the water has to come from an approved source. Okay. Okay. So that's where we get 85% of bottled water is tap water.
Right.
Because that's the approved source.
Mm-hmm.
And so, researching this, I've heard this, and just recently I saw documentation. So, the numbers. EPA has a standard that was set in 1945 or something along those lines. In the 40s. Okay, and hasn't been updated. They have standards for 90 contaminants. I found on the EPA site that they also have secondary list of contaminants. There's 3 lists that all have 1,000 contaminants. So these are known contaminants. There's just no standard for them.
Wow.
I just saw recently that there's over 60,000 contaminants, chemicals that have gotten into our water from the soil, from whatever.
Right.
And, all of these chemicals that are being made, better living through chemicals? I don't think so. Okay. So we need to be more conscious of what's going on.
What disturbs me, I think, the most is pharmaceuticals. Because, I'm very interested in, holistic living and organic foods. And if I'm taking someone else's medicine, it's like, why would I go through all these troubles to live naturally if I'm taking someone else's high blood pressure medicine?
And we have no control over that.
Right.
Because these are prescriptions that people no longer need or use. The people die off and they're around and they dump in the toilet.
Yeah.
And we just take that water and recycle it. They purify the water based on the standards that are years and years old, and they're doing the testing. I have a situation in Mississippi. When I moved into Mississippi, and I've had my water machines and whatnot, first thing I did is I tested the water. And I was shocked. The pH level of the water was at 8.5 coming out of my tap. I said, what? What are you putting in my water, And so I got involved in, how do we, the public, know? Okay. So the EPA has a standard where all municipalities have to report annually their water testing and the results of water. And it's called a Consumer's Confidence Report, a CCR.
Okay.
And you can get it for every place. So I went in to get my CCR for Picayune, Mississippi. And it had like 8 elements that were being tested. And I looked at it and I said, no, wait a minute. I know there's more than that.
Right.
But they're not reporting that. So I sort of challenged that, so what's going on? I don't want to cause trouble here, but how come you only tell me about 8 of your 90 tests that you're doing?
Right.
Can't get a straight answer or whatnot. Another water supply that's right next door to us, I got their CCR, and I got 4 pages.
Wow.
And so I found out that the EPA requires the report, but they don't tell the individual states what they have to report. So remember what happened in Michigan, in the water supply there.
I'm from Detroit.
Yeah.
It's heartbreaking, really heartbreaking.
When I heard that, I said, how can that be? We had all these regulations. We got the EPA, they got standards, they were testing, everybody's monitoring, that kind of thing. They're there, but nobody's enforcing it. And that's because the public is not asking the question.
Right, and then if the standards are from 1945, like even the technology in medication, that it's time released and all this, all the water should take in consideration all this new technology.
Well, the new stuff, the pharmaceuticals, we're not testing for because there's no standard for it.
Right, they didn't exist in 1945. Right. So it's crazy. So, but it sounds like the answer would be that people would have their own filtration system to purify and cleanse their water at the tap,
Right.
to keep all these things out.
Right. Now there's filters and there's filters.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I can give you filtered water, and the only thing I take out of the filtered water, out of the water, is sediment. Okay.
Out of your hot water machine.
No.
The
Out of any filter.
Okay.
Filter system.
Okay.
You buy a filter system, but you have to be conscious. You have to be aware of what it is filtering.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And there's different levels of filtration.
Right.
And the more expensive, the people tend to. Well, I'm not going to do a $500 filter system because I see one here for $100.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I had $100 one.
Yeah. Yeah. So you're filtering stuff out, so the words are okay.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But what is it? What are you trying to get to? If
Right.
you want to get good, clean water, you have to get a good filter system.
Well, and I had a filter system for about $100, and it filtered everything out. So then I start getting nervous about, well, it doesn't have any minerals because it was just pure water.
Well, if you bought it for $100, it may have told you that it filtered everything out. But you need a definition. What do you mean by everything?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Is everything that I want filtered out, or everything that they want filtered out?
Well, it said that it left pure water. I don't know. But it had a little mechanism that you can test for particles.
TDS.
I don't know.
Total dissolves. I don't know what the S is.
And when you put in brand new filters, it had 0 particles. When the filters were old, it had like
all kinds of junk in it.
Yeah.
So it's filtering some stuff out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So depending on what's in the filter itself, the media that goes through.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It goes by the size of the contaminant.
Okay.
Okay.
Right.
Now, and it uses the decimal system. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Most filters in that $200, $300, $400 range, are filtering out microns of 0.5.
Okay.
Okay. Now the better systems will do 0.01 or
Okay.
0.1.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The good incorporated systems to purify water, okay, you got a 0.01.
Okay.
Now if you do reverse osmosis, you get a 0.001.
Wow. Okay.
Now
I didn't
that's
realize
taking
that.
everything out to include the minerals.
The minerals.
Okay.
Because I had one client who I work with, and he was trying to clean his body because he was trying to decide if he was going to get a hip replacement surgery. And he didn't know. But when I talked to him more and more, I realized that he had been drinking water that had no minerals for 15 years.
Right.
And he had very, very soft bones. And it just made me think that this water maybe act like distilled water and was pulling out the minerals from his bones and
That's
caused...
exactly what's happening.
Yeah.
Because we need those trace elements.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And that's in nature. That's why they're there.
Right.
And a lot of the pills that we take, the supplements that we take, okay, they're trying to add things back that were missing because of our diet or whatever.
Right.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And these aren't the whole package. Vitamin C. We get a vitamin C capsule. Okay. And we equate that to an orange. An orange has vitamin C. Well, you don't need to eat an orange. You just take a vitamin C capsule.
Right. No.
But you're not getting everything that orange has.
Yeah, because
and
there's
you
so
need
many
that combination.
cofactoring.
Exactly.
They need to come in a complex source. Yeah, I totally agree
So
with that.
when you strip out these trace minerals,
Mm-hmm.
okay, your body will compensate.
Yeah.
And it will steal from your bones, just like you said. Okay, if you don't give it the trace minerals, it's going to get it from someplace because it has to have it to function.
Well, that's what I heard, that you could drink like 32 ounce, soda. What's the pH of soda? Like 3?
Oh, it's really,
yeah, and but your blood will stay slightly alkaline, as it always will, because it will leach minerals from whatever to compensate for the 32 ounces of acidic soda.
Right. Well, we always get into this conversation, about what you intake, what it's done inside, and a lot of people think, well, your body, we know that the body's going to regulate its pH.
Awesome Wellness is a great show. We interview experts that tell you the real deal about your body and health, but what you really need to know to get the most out of your body, to have longevity, to have great energy, and just to feel good all the time. That is our birthright. With the right food and simple food medicine techniques, exercise and awareness and consciousness, you can do it. You can have everything you want through your spiritual machine. Tune in for another episode of Real Awesome Wellness on Rocket TV.